The hacker who almost broke the internet on 1986. The year was 1986. Most people had never even touched a computer, let alone imagine a world where information flowed freely across invisible lines. The internet, as it would later be called, was still an experiment, fragile and unguarded. And in a quiet German town, a young man sat hunched over a glowing screen, tapping into something he was never supposed to see. He wasn't a violent man. He carried no weapons, left no blood, and fired no bullets. His crime was curiosity. But that curiosity nearly changed the digital world forever. Late at night, while others slept, he dialed into foreign networks with a squeal of static and the slow hum of a modem. Each beep meant another wall climbed, another gate unlocked. He wasn't breaking into banks or stealing money. No, what he wanted was information. Government secrets. Military research. Files so sensitive that even whispers of their contents could start wars. And one night, he found himself inside the network of NASA. The screen filled with rows of characters, restricted documents, satellite data, and defense strategies. Information that no civilian, let alone a curious 20-something in Europe, was ever meant to see. He didn't plan to keep the secrets for himself. Instead, he funneled them toward another power, the Soviet Union. Not out of loyalty, but for profit. Every file he touched, every bit of stolen data, could be sold. It was espionage without stepping foot in another country. No dead drops, no trench coats in the rain, just a computer and a phone line. But like most who fly too close to the sun, he underestimated how carefully someone might be watching. In the US, network administrators began to notice strange patterns: files accessed at odd hours, commands typed in broken English, footprints left where none should exist. One administrator, Clifford Stoll at Lawrence Berkeley Laboratory, refused to dismiss it as a glitch. He traced the digital footsteps across oceans, through tangled connections, back to Europe. It was a game of patience. Each night, Stoll set digital traps, tiny files that would alert him when touched. And each night, the hacker returned, nibbling at the bait. The librarian in our last story had followed a paper trail. Here, the detective followed one made of ones and zeros. Eventually, the hacker's luck ran out. Authorities, tipped off by Stoll's relentless pursuit, raided the small apartment where the young man's computer was still humming with stolen access. He was arrested. Charged. Exposed not as a shadowy spy, but as a restless youth who had turned his curiosity into crime. The trial revealed just how fragile the digital world had been, how a single person, with no weapons and no army, had pried open the doors of the most powerful institutions on earth. Governments panicked. Firewalls were built. Passwords strengthened. New rules written to protect the invisible pathways of the growing internet. The hacker faded into history, his name overshadowed by the systems he forced into existence. But his story remains a reminder: the World Wide Web was not born secure. It was forged through mistakes, intrusions, and the relentless curiosity of people who wanted to see what lay just beyond the locked door. There were no guns, no getaway cars, no dramatic courtroom confessions in this case. Just a keyboard, a modem, and the quiet tapping of keys in the dark. But sometimes, the most dangerous crimes leave no fingerprint at all, only echoes in the code, warnings that the future will never be as safe as we want it to be. What do you think? Was he a criminal, or just ahead of his time? Drop your thoughts in the comment section.